Hello everyone, my name is Marco Quilumba. Today I'm going to talk about parts of the journal article, but first I'm going to show you my ID card. Yeah, in the title, it has to write just in 15 words, more than that, because the title has to attract the attention from the readers. In this case, the title from the journal article is Academic Procrastination, Perfectionism and Control Association with Vigilant and Avoidant Copy. And identification part, it has to be the names of the authors. For example, in this case, is Lawrence, Catherine, Nock, Jacqueline, and where they did this journal article. For example, in Grand Valley State University. And the part of the abstract, this is the abstract. If you notice, here's the abstract. It has to write just in 150 words to 200 words, no more than that. And because the abstract is a briefly summary in order to explain the purpose, the objectives, and the main points of this journal article and the results. Yeah. And introduction, it is a background of this journal article, because in the introduction it has to be you have to ask about the problem, if the problem is true or not true, or you have in the introduction you have even the previous knowledge, the previous research about this topic. For example, in this case, procrastination. And here, for example, the purpose of this study was provide a better understanding. If you see, in the introduction, provide a better understanding in order to understand the research. But in order to understand better this topic, you need to justify with another authors with previous research. But in the previous research, don't forget, we have to put, or you have to see the names of the authors. In this introduction, has to have the citations. For example, if you see Ferrari and Matus in 1997, and the rest of the authors, if you see, notice this has proposed a comprehensive model of copying style. You see, in the introduction talk about all the hypothesis in order to explain about this title. If you notice, you see, avoiding copying. Here is show us all the problem about the research. Yeah, let's go to see the methods. Yeah, let me show you methods, because I don't have much time. Sorry. In the methods, we can see the sample on materials and how this research did address. For example, if you notice, here is the participants. The sample is the participant. There's some 157 undergraduates, or 85 women, 72 men. These amounts are the sample. Yeah, you see. Yeah, the procedure show what the materials. For example, you use interviews, surveys, tests, in order to collect data about the procrastination or avoiding copying. For example, if you notice, yeah, after informed consent was obtained, participants were given the following scales. You know. For example, in this case, the author give scales in order to understand how they procrastinate or avoid copying. Yeah, positive and negative perfection, ISM scale. You see, a scale. You see the procedure. Here's the materials methods used. For example, in materials, he used interviews. Also, he used, for example, methods. For example, he can use quantitative research or qualitative research or mixed methods in order to understand or address this research. Yeah. because in this part you collect all the data. For example, statistic data or perception from these people for the sample. In this case, 157 undergraduates. Yeah, you see, psychometric measures. A general description of each measure using the current study follows below. You see, he used a measure. He used a positive negative perfection scale. You see, but because he need to use quantitative, in this case, he need to use quantitative research because he used a scale in order to understand about their behavior or reaction from the undergraduates. Yeah. Let's go to the results. The results show us all very clear. And the results show us very clear the details from the data, which data you collect and you calculate show us all the results. But in these results is not the opinion of from the author. If you see, in all zero other correlation are reported in the tablet. You see, reported in the tablet all the details, all the data collection from the methods, and from the methods. You see, it has to be in the results, but you don't have to put your opinion or your criteria. Yeah, because here even is the all the perception, but exactly what came from the result from the collect data. Yeah, as you notice, here is the table and the results of the answer from the collect data from the interviews or methods what did the author. Here, if you notice, here is the perception. You see, the authors notice the correlations of vigilance and avoidance with positive perfectionism were both positive. You see, yeah, this is the result, because he said the relation of vigilance and avoidance with positive perfectionism were both positive. This is the answer. Yeah, because he got results from the collect data and he said it's positive. But this is in qualitative research, and when usually results are graphics, tables, photos, and recordings, it's going to be in the results. Yeah, but it doesn't. You don't have. You can see here in the results the opinions from the author, just from the collect data. The discussions is the analyze from the author. For example, he analyzed what's going on about this issue. For example, he said the purpose of this study. For example, he see the problem, he put the hypothesis, he collect data from the methods, but he analyzed from that hypothesis and from that collect the data. He compared if he get the answer about this research, because in the discussion, the purpose of this study was examining the association of academic procrastination, perfectionism, and control with vigilance avoiding copying. You see, overall, our findings were consistent with our hypothesis to the most relationships were weak. Positive perfectionism was associated with both coping styles. If you notice, he compared with the hypothesis and with the results. He analyzed what happened with this study, what happened with this research. He started from hypothesis and he compared with the research. And let's go to the conclusions. For example, in conclusion, he let me show you conclusions. Generalizing the findings, it can be hypothesis in part. Those who procrastinate should show some degree of either learning helpfulness and realistically high standard they feel they cannot achieve. You see, he tried to give a conclusion. For example, if some that people from an undergraduate that 150 something, they don't, they said they can't get a degree because he don't they don't have the high standards or feel they cannot achieve the degree. For example, look at this. Generally, these findings, it can be hypothesis that in part those who procrastinate should show some degree of the learning helpens under unrealistically high standard they feel they cannot achieve. You know, he conclude if some students or some people procrastinate, they can't achieve any degree or any can they want to get it. If they procrastinate, they don't achieve. They say he make that conclusion. Finally, is the reference. Reference in reference, it has to be all the reference, what you cite in introduction and analyze when you analyze. For example, in here you analyzing not in conclusions and in discussions, because you analyze, you have to reference. For example, the author proposed, you cite here, you have to have here in the reference all the authors you cited. You have to put in the reference in alphabetic order. You see, and you have to put a reference in the middle, and you have to put in alphabetic order the authors and the titles, what you searched or what the author searched. I hope you understand me. Thank you so much and have a good day.